My last interview with the real estate agent who speaks English tickled quite a few people. And people asked questions, and I answered some of the questions in the comments if you care to read. Right now, I'm going to summarize some of the things which he said and give you my comment on what he said. Besides that, Turkish government just made a major change to the real estate purchase by foreigners. It never happened before and yet it happens again. Yes, they did. And some of the things will become easier now for foreigners to purchase real estate. I think we need that. First of all, the real estate market, the real estate which is purchased by foreigners is shrinking. But that's not really bad news. I think it's actually okay to see that because I really think some major changes are coming. They are in the pipe. And some of them already becoming active, and that is the one which I'm going to share with you. Remember, you need to subscribe, leave some comments, and share this video with anybody who may concern themselves with buying some kind of a real estate in Turkey. And put some likes. First things first, the real estate agent said that you can buy properties at discount of 30, 40, 50, even 60%. Is that true? I can tell you it is true in the context. You really have to look at what happened last 2 years. What happened 2 years ago in Turkey? That is when the war in Ukraine started. That is when thousands, tens of thousands of people came to Turkey in a period of 1 or 2 months. And many of them wanted to buy real estate. Some of them were fleeing away from mobilization. Some of them just wanted to preserve their money. Some of them wanted to invest. There were lots of different people. And they were buying anything that is becoming available, really. At first, people just sold at the price which, they listed. But then prices started rising very quickly because people started bidding and outbidding. At first, people were buying what was good. Then people were buying anything. And we're talking about older buildings. We're talking about buildings which need some repair, renovation, etc. And they were buying at the peak. And that was happening in Alanya too, in a different scale, in a different market. And I think it was happening all over places in Turkey where foreigners came. Don't forget that foreigners are buying 1.3% of overall real estate sold in Turkey. It's a fraction. It's a small seed. That's all it is. If they're not buying anything, Turkey market will still be vibrant, still will be going its own way. Foreigners really not making much of a change. They may be active in certain areas as a group, and maybe in that particular area they actually make change. Maybe they in a way make prices a little higher, but it's a small part of the market. It's just a particle. It's just a cell of the entire body of Turkey. So there is really no problem with foreigners buying, even if they're buying at inflated prices. However, at the time when they were buying it, we had a few other changes which was going on in Turkey in financial system. And the government, perhaps some people in the government, some analysts, I think they overreacted. I think they thought we want to capture this cash, foreign currency, etc. Whatever they thought. I don't know what they thought. But I don't think it really panned out. I think that effort really suffocated the market in a way. Because to buy real estate in Turkey at the time, you had to convert your hard currency to Turkish lira at the government rate. And if you're buying from another foreigner, that foreigner receives Turkish lira, and that foreigner would convert it back to hard currency. And that was becoming kind of a convoluted. It's becoming really cloudy. It's just becoming making the whole thing uncomfortable. It's making whole thing complicated in a way. For no reason, it makes it complicated. Maybe they were trying, I'm talking about government, maybe they were trying to capture some statistics. So some of the properties were sold at highly inflated prices. When people came with cash, maybe cash in their pocket, maybe cash in their suitcase, and they just bought anything. Now, let's talk about smart foreign buyers who are more choosy, who are more experienced. If you look at the market right now, which is like Konyaaltı or some coastal area, which is not far from the sea, the prices really didn't change that much. If you're talking from the peak, maybe 20%. That I know for sure because I actually talked to some people who they recently had proposed purchase for them. They did not sell, but they had a proposal from other foreigners to buy real estate in Hurma, Liman, in Konyaaltı, other places. And the prices, honestly, they reduced, but not by far. Let's say that at the peak, the 1+1 in Hurma was sold maybe for 150. That's pushing, really. It was more like 130, 140. Right now, you can still sell it at about 110, 120. I'm talking about really nice complex. I'm talking about really nice place, not old standalone building, etc. So we're talking about roughly 20% reduction. And right now, market is not hot. Usually April and November are the months when most of the real estate is sold. And I'm talking about regular financial conditions, not some kind of a surprise change in the market. That's how it works. If you are still thinking about buying real estate in Turkey, I do think the time to buy right now is appropriate. Considering that you would be living in that flat, let's say that you would be living there half of the year out of the entire year. It's not a bad idea because otherwise you would be paying rent and that rent would be going to somebody else. And in certain months it's high and certain months it's low. Short-term rent is difficult to get by. It's penalized. So we have actually two changes which I want to share with you. The first changes which government just implemented, it increased fines for those people who rent apartments illegally. The fines go up to 20 million Turkish lira. I don't know how you can justify that, but that's the law. That's how they had written it. For most people, it will be something over 3 months out of the year penalty. So maybe about 100,000 Turkish lira. That's what the penalty will be for those who are caught renting out their apartment illegally for short term. Even if you rent out legally, but you are not receiving payment through the electronic type of payment, you may get penalties. The government will come crushing you. And for that reason, the idea of buying a property and renting it out becomes a bit complicated. You can still do it, and you can still do it pretty decently. I would say probably 10% return on or 10% per year return on your investment. You can still do it, maybe 8. Because if you rent out, legally you have to pay 20% to the government. And do you want to do this? That's a question. And if you don't want to do it, you may get a penalty. So if you buy it for yourself, if you're going to live it in that apartment, if perhaps your friends will come and live in your apartment, or your family will come, let's say that you have grown-up children who want to come and live there while you're actually going back to your country or to some other country, that will work. Otherwise not. So the first news, which I did not say much in the beginning about, that is increased fines, penalties for those who rent their apartments out illegally. Now the second change, which is more important change for those who want to buy flats. You no longer have to convert your hard currency to local currency to purchase apartment. There is a new regulation which is addendum, which is changed to previous regulation. If there is a transaction between non-resident foreigner, they underline that, non-resident foreigner, with the resident or citizen, the transaction can be performed in foreign currency. And also, if you rent your flat to a foreigner non-resident, you can also do it in foreign currency. Nobody knows exactly how it's going to work. The change was implemented. It's in law, but how it's going to be interpreted and actually put to test, put to work, nobody knows. This is just something for you to remember. It never happened before, and yet it happens again. It's a joke. It happens again all the time, and it will happen again more. So, fellas, if you're buying real estate, that's the case. There are quite a few people who say, and why would I go to Turkey? I would go to some other place and buy apartment there and rent apartment there. I want to ask where. If you guys have any idea, write it in the comments. Because I don't know where. I wouldn't go to Dubai for the very reason I told you. In Dubai, the whole market is essentially inflated. You don't have enough population, local population, to buy real estate. So in Dubai, all the real estate is purchased by foreigners. And what happens there, that they actually buy it straight from the developers, straight from construction. And then they cannot resell it. They just keep it there. Some of them can rent and make money, but you cannot resell it. You cannot speculate it. In Turkey, on the other hand, the market is real and the market is local. People actually buying and selling here in Turkey locally. That's a big advantage. Speaking of Spain, in Spain, prices are also very inflated. I talked to people there. The government is fighting. The government is implementing new measures. There are several cities which have some kind of a policy established against Airbnb. They're trying to control rent. The rent is high. So Spain is not really made of rubber. You cannot stretch it forever. Lots of people want to go to Spain. Some people go to Portugal. Okay, you can go, but that's Europe. And if that's where you want to be, great. I know some people who moved there and they're pretty happy. And I know some people who moved there and decided to move back. It really depends. If you know another place which is a great place to move, please write it in the comments, because I don't. Many other countries you go, you can buy real estate, but you have no ability to get your citizenship there, or it's so difficult to get citizenship there that it's not worth it. Other countries, they're far away from Europe, like South America. Perhaps it's a great place to live, and many people go there, and I love South America. But it's a world of its own. If that's what you're looking for, great, and you can get citizenship there. But it's a world of its own. It's far away from the rest of the world. So I still think Turkey is it, at least for now. And I will tell you more why I'm here. I already said why I'm here after 4 years, but there is another reason which I'm going to share with you in my next video. I'm Vas. Good luck.